And then Will Dunn, Trey Gunner, and Tom all kind of just took me under their wing my sophomore and junior year. So it's kind of nice because it just, once again, it feels like you just have older brothers, especially like when I'm a freshman in the locker room not knowing what I'm doing. And then it's kind of like everybody just gravitates towards you. And Marius, my freshman year, here's a funny story. I actually hurt Marius my freshman year. So there's a wet spot on the court. Thought I wiped it up, didn't.
Oh, no.
He slipped into Kingsley. And then, I don't know if you remember, he missed all the exhibition games.
Yeah.
So after that, I was kind of just by Mara's side for the next 3 years trying to make up for, or next 2 years trying to make up for it. So that's kind of a way that I like found myself, I actually need to focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Focus at practice. You can't really zone out because then you miss something. A guy is out for, I got lucky, he was out for the year.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This year's team had 8 or 9 student managers.
We have 9 currently. We call them our nicknames the Divine Nine around the office.
The Divine Nine.
Yeah.
Who came up with that nickname?
Caleb Brown did, our boss. So.
No kidding. I like that.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue. I like it. So, talk to me about your relationship with the other 8, along with, are you kind of like the big brother to those 8, just trying to help them maybe pursue their way up the ranks and maybe become what you are right now?
Yeah, I would say that they're all kind of like, so there's no seniors who are like me, and it's kind of so what Nate did to me my freshman year is you kind of just like let them go until you need to stop them, and they're all my best friends. So sometimes it's kind of hard when you see someone struggling. You're like, I'm gonna have to like eventually tell them what to do or yell at them, and that can be a hard part of your job because it's managing the relationship with someone while also like trying to tell them what to do. And I find myself being like, you can be a little bossy sometimes, but it's kind of hard not to be. It's like your best friends. So you're trying to be nice, but at the same time, they're all my best friends. And we all hang out every day. It's just fun. I think if you come to practice, you always see us talking off at the side, which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it just shows how close we all are, and we're all best friends. We all, like, every time we get together, everybody's laughing.
Joey, before I let you go, growing up, where did you come from? Your hometown, where you went to school? Did you play sports growing up? Give me all this.
So I'm from Grand Blanc, Michigan. It's just like 20 minutes south of Flint. And then I went to Flint Powers Catholic, which is a private school in downtown Flint. So it was really cool getting to go to a school in like a historic city like that. And then I got cut from the baseball team my freshman year, which is a funny story. I was 5'4", 120 pounds my freshman year, so it just wasn't built for athletics really.
Yeah.
And then sophomore year, broke my ankle at the athletic club, landing on a dude for a rebound.
Oh, geez.
And then my junior year, I kind of just stumbled into track. I was not, if anybody's seen me run or walk, not very agile and not fast, but I was a hurdler just because there's only one hurdler. So I actually I'm technically a regional runner for the MHSAA, which is a kind of a big accomplishment. So it's kind of random, but not really. I'm not really the most athletic person if anybody's ever seen me.
One final thing, Joey, appreciate your time. If you could sum up your experience at Grand Valley State in one word, what would it be?
I got 3: best thing ever.
Love it. That's a great way to go out. He is Joey Abraham, head student manager. Joey, appreciate it. It's been fun getting to know you over the years. And, hey, we're not done. Let's continue the season for a few more weeks.
Let's get a ring.
Absolutely. That's Joey Abraham joining us on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. We'll take another break. Assistant coach DJ Mosini rejoins us. We're going to preview what's to come for the GLIAC tournament. We're at home on Wednesday for the quarterfinals against Wayne State. We'll talk about that after this timeout here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is presented in part by Flow Sports, where you can watch the Lakers all season long. Wrapping up our men's conversation with assistant coach DJ Mosini. My thanks to Joey Abraham, head student manager, for joining us in the previous segment. DJ, let's get right into it. It's GLIAC postseason tournament time. You guys are the number 3 seed. You're going to host number 6 Wayne State on Wednesday at the Fieldhouse Arena. We do have a home doubleheader for you on Wednesday. Women at 5:30, men at 7:30. 5:15 will be the pregame coverage here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. And in the regular season, you split with Wayne State. Home teams prevailing there. What have you learned about this Wayne State group here going into round number 3? It's kind of a rubber match.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you look at the league right now, and you had mentioned it earlier in the show, there's a lot of really good teams. This league is very competitive. It's a knockdown, drag-out fight all season long in almost every game, and it's going to be no different on Wednesday night. Wayne State is playing really good basketball. They have multiple guys that can beat you, as we've seen in our first 2 matchups that there's kind of been. You had Carlos Paul maybe in the first one that led them in scoring, and then obviously Briggs went off in the second game, and you have a freshman in Boos who had a really good game, I think, the first time against us. So they got many different players that can beat us or beat you on any given night, and so it's going to take a tremendous effort and a lot of concentration and focus for 40 minutes.
Yeah, you look at the other games. Northern Michigan, they ended up tied with Michigan Tech atop the GLIAC standings, but Northern Michigan won the tiebreaker. They will take on number 8 Ferris State at 7:30 on Wednesday. Then in the 4-5 matchup, Lake State, who's been one of the hotter teams, if not the hottest team in the GLIAC, they're the 4 seed hosting number 5 Purdue Northwest at 7. Then the 2-7 matchup is Michigan Tech up in Houghton. They will entertain Davenport. That'll be a 5:30 tip. And then the semifinals are on Saturday at the team with the highest remaining seed. They will host the entire weekend. The GLIAC Championship will be Sunday, March 8th. All the times for Saturday and Sunday are to be determined. So, DJ, you just kind of look at it. I know they always say defense wins championships, and that is obviously true. You need to pack your defense whenever you're either at home or traveling up to the UP or wherever have you. But does it come down to just the fundamentals when it comes to winning a postseason championship? It's one and done now, whether it's the GLIAC or the NCAA tournament. Does it just comes down to the basics that you learned back in October?
Yeah, I think your team identity and the principles that you've stuck with since day one and maybe practice one are what are going to carry you through. And when you go into this time of year, whether it's the GLIAC tournament, the NCAA tournament, you approach the game you have in front of you, and that's the only thing you have to worry about, because we have 40 minutes to try to earn another 40. That's what this whole thing is about. And so it usually comes down to the team that has the best concentration, the best execution, the best focus, and the best energy level for that 40 minutes at this time of year. So I think that's what makes March exciting. It's what makes college basketball, I think, very unique this time of year, and that's what it's going to take for us to advance past Wednesday.
From a coaching standpoint, do you guys coach the game differently as it goes along in terms of adjustments? Do you make adjustments quicker in a one-and-done scenario?
I don't think it'd be any differently. I think each game, throughout the season depends. I think you know the other team very well, just like they know you very well. So it's, the conference tournament becomes something that both teams have a tremendous amount of knowledge, and so you use the knowledge that you have to make the best decision in the moment and see if it works out.
It's an exciting time for the program. It's been a minute since this program has made the NCAA tournament. The recent regional rankings have you guys in the number 3 slot. The top 8 in each of the regions make the NCAA tournament. How just exciting is that to just have a sense of, hey, we're playing for something more here compared to previous seasons?
Well, our guys have earned that. And it's a tremendous accomplishment to them to be in that position, and we're blessed to be in that position. At the same time, you take the practice floor every day. You get better that day, and then you move on to the next day, and we just try to stack days in that way. So hopefully when we take the floor on Wednesday, we have that opportunity to, again, earn 40 minutes and strengthen that case to keep the season going.
Yeah, one game at a time. Again, Wednesday at 7:30 against Wayne State, right after the women's game, as they will host Lake Superior State at 5:30. DJ, before I let you go, appreciate you filling in for Corn tonight.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Mann is down with our team right now at Condado Taco, and they've been a great supporter of ours throughout the season, a great supporter of Grand Valley State athletics throughout the years, and we're very appreciative to them.
Yep, and before I let you go here, just sum it up in a few short words. Grand Valley State wins the GLIAC postseason tournament if. Finish that sentence.
We win on Wednesday night.
One game at a time, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. He is assistant coach DJ Mosini. DJ, we appreciate it. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, Brian, and anchor up.
That's assistant coach DJ Mosini. Again, Grand Valley State, the men, host Wayne State, the number 6 seed at 7:30, 7:15 roughly, with the pregame coverage after the women's game from the Fieldhouse Arena here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. That's going to wrap things up for our men's conversation. When we come back, we're talking all things GVSU women. Hey, they've won 5 straight outright GLIAC regular season championships. An incredible run. We'll chat with head women's coach Mike Williams after this short timeout here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is presented in part by Earhart Construction. Right from the start, Brian Fongers back live inside the GVSU basketball offices as we are cruising along to a postseason installment of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. I'd like to thank everybody tuning in on the Grand Valley Sports Network, along with our viewers on YouTube. We always appreciate their support all season long as we now get into all things Grand Valley State women's basketball. Well, where to start? I mentioned going to break. They have now won 5 straight outright GLIAC regular season championships. Courtesy of a couple of victories last week in the Crosstown Showdown, it was 87-52. Almost a week ago on Tuesday in Caledonia against Davenport, then on Thursday in front of an unbelievable environment at the Fieldhouse Arena against number 13 Ferris State. The GVSU women roughed them up 70-44 to win the GLIAC outright as they finish the regular season 27-1, 19-1 in the GLIAC, and they will have the number 1 seed in the GLIAC postseason tournament they will host as far as they go. And to talk about the 2 victories last week, head women's coach Mike Williams joins us once again. Mike, as always, we appreciate it, and congratulations. You guys have done it again. How'd you do it?
Well, we talked about all year. Our leadership's been really outstanding. Those 5 seniors have done such an incredible job picking up where we left off last year. Being leaders, being the voice of this team, and really just a lot of great input for our coaching staff as well. So that's been great to see. And every year we come in, I'm like, okay, are these guys gonna be able to pick up where they left off? Because they're not as vocal as juniors usually, or younger underclassmen. Then when they get to be seniors, boom, they just become great leaders. So that's been a big part of it. Our younger players, I think, have done a great job coming along, learning. We've had really Kenzie and Sid played a little bit, Kenzie a little bit more than Sid, but outside of that, nobody really played. It's all, red shirts, injured players coming off, true freshmen. So a lot of green players that have had to pick up the pieces, and they've done a nice job. And, we have talent. We have a talented group. We know that. We got some size. We got speed. We've got good players, but it's also, can you put that together? And then you top on the fact that this conference is the best conference in the country, and the teams you're playing every week and the respect you have for them. It's like it was to see that happen. I was a little bit surprised.
It's got to be a surreal feeling, again, winning 5 straight outright GLIAC regular season championships. When you took this job coming over from Davenport when they were an NAIA school 11 seasons ago, did you see this program get to where it's at right now?
Well, you never see that. It's always, you can talk about all you want, but to get there is really, really challenging. And I think a lot of things fit in place. When I got here, Coach Janelle, who left to be a farmer, and she's got a little YouTube or Instagram thing she does, and my wife actually follows, so it's pretty cool. But in Iowa, but her and Coach Phil had this program was in great shape. The culture, we talked about the culture, the talent. The first year we got to the Final Four, the recruiting class coming in was off the charts. It was in a great spot, and so now it's like, okay, can you keep it going and maybe improve on a little bit? And our staff has been an excellent staff. Obviously, Coach Phil stayed, which is great. We had Coach Amanda Parker. We've got a great staff, and then Grand Valley's a great place. So, you got the things in place to do it, and just got to recruit good players and get them to kind of do what you want them to do to be successful, and they've done that. So a lot of things fell in place. It really has.
Yeah, no doubt. Chatting with head women's coach Mike Williams on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. We've talked about it many times. This is now my 4th season doing it, but the GLIAC just continues to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Is this the best you've seen the conference this season?
Since we had the teams leave, when I first got here, it was really strong because Ashland was in here. And, we had, Hillsdale was good at the time, and Gannon Walsh. Well, that was back when I was assistant coach when it was that.
Yeah.
And then we, Northwood, who's left, and Hillsdale, and Finley was really strong. So since, we came down to we got down to 12 members, 11 members, since then I think it's as strong as it's been that I've seen it. It just, when you got, and the numbers, they crack the numbers, the KPIs and the mass and all that, and you've got 4 of the top 15 teams in the country in your conference. That's pretty amazing.
Going through some stats here real quick. In Tuesday's victory against Davenport, Mackenzie Bisbal had a double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Paige Van Stee had 10 and 5. Nicole Kameen had 10 points. Lauren Slagle, in just 9 minutes, had 10 points. That reminds me of the Ferris State game up in Big Rapids. She came off the bench, hit 3 triples, and she really exploded on the scene. And then you get into Thursday's game. From a team standpoint, we talked about the jump, the energy of the team right from the opening tip on Thursday. It just felt like they had something to prove in that game. Would you agree with me on that?
I think it was something to prove, but I thought they've been trying to be that team that they talked about where they had the urgency, the focus was there, and then that confidence to carry it out. And you're playing at home, and like you said, Brian, we hadn't been home for a while. We played at Saginaw, at Lake State, at Davenport, and we finally got home, and the crowd kind of was at another level, and so that really helps. But yes, I think that was probably the best we've played in a while, probably the best we played all year, and that's kind of what you want. We talked to our team and said we kind of hit a lull in the middle of the season, and it happens a lot, and we just said, can we keep getting a little bit better? And they did that, and it was fun to watch because we have such a great deal of respect for Ferris State and their players and their coaching staff and what they've done to be at the top like they are. So it was a great game, and obviously it's nice when you are on the winning end of it.
Yeah, no doubt. In that victory on Thursday, Mackenzie Bisbal had 18 points. Paige Van Stee, she almost matched Riley Bisbal's high for rebounds in a single game. One shy, she had 14 rebounds, 17 points. Nicole Kameen had 11 points in the victory on Thursday against Ferris State. And just to sum up the regular season as a whole, Coach Mike, just 1 loss, 1 point at Wayne State. How would you describe the regular season in a nutshell from a team standpoint?
Well, a tremendous success, like I said, because we played the strong non-conference schedule. We played a great conference schedule. To be that consistent for 28 games, and we really didn't have any major, but we had some bumps and bruises along the way, and players were out for stretches. Some of our key players. So to see other players step up when those players are out, it says a lot about the players that are working each day and ready to go when their number's called. And so I think everything kind of came to place. And then another, like I said, I was very surprised that I knew we were a good team, but man, to do that was surprising.
We'll talk in the last segment what's to come in regards to the GLIAC postseason tournament. I know you voiced your opinions on how you feel about the conference postseason tournament. Obviously, most coaches put more stock in winning the regular season championship. There's no doubt about it. But do you feel like the conference postseason tournament somewhat can prepare you for the NCAA tournament in terms of it being a one-and-done situation?
Well, I think it does, but I think in some ways, you're still going to play in that NCAA tournament, so maybe it's not a one and done. It's not final.
Yeah.
But it gets you the back-to-backs. We try to play some back-to-backs in our non-conference, schedule to get used to the back-to-back, and then obviously the GLIAC will get used to the NCAA tournament because if you can keep winning, you can play Saturday and Sunday. So there's something to it, I guess. But like you said, I'm not a huge fan of playing someone 4 times a year, so but whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and you've experienced that the past couple of years, playing the likes of a Wayne State or a Northern Michigan 4 times in a single year. That's the regionalization. That is the NCAA tournament in Division II. Coach Mike, our special guest on the players' side here, will be Taylor Dillard, redshirt freshman out of Kalamazoo, went to Kalamazoo Central High School. Just talk about her progression here in her couple of years in Allendale.
Yeah, Tay's keeps things light. She's smiling. She's always got great comments and laughter, and just has something always going on, which is really cool. It keeps things in a good mood, and so that's really fun to see. But she's a player that redshirted last year, and we're expecting her to be, as we move along here, a big part of what we're doing. And she was a scorer, a tremendous scorer in high school, and played her travel ball and could get to the rim, hit the 3, worked on her pull up to develop her game a little bit. Now, this last, redshirting last year and this year throughout the year, she's really worked defensively on, being someone that we can count on to, hey, you can check the other team's best player because she's strong, she's athletic, and she's done a great job for us. When she gets in that game, she's done, probably doesn't get to play sometimes as much as, you'd like to, but when you got a veteran team and you're moving along, you get them in as much as you can, but man, when she gets in, she makes things happen. And so we're really excited for her, if we can get in the tournament here, get her in, but, for the future.
Well, after this timeout, Coach Mike will let you take a breather, and Taylor Dillard, special guest on the players' side, will join us for a conversation for a few minutes as we are live inside the GVSU basketball offices with a new installment of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider right here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Our women's basketball guest is presented by University of Michigan Health West, the official sports medicine provider at GVSU Athletics. Brian Fongers back with you live inside the GVSU basketball offices, as it's always the fastest hour on the radio. This is our second to last segment. Hard to believe. In our postseason installment of the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider, our special guest on the players' side joins us for the women. Redshirt freshman out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, Taylor Dillard joins us. Taylor, thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course.
So let's start off by, I always ask the first-timers on this show, what made you want to commit to Grand Valley State?
Oh, my gosh. What a question. I wanted to play here because I always used to go to the camps growing up since I was in probably 6th grade, the middle school camps. So it's crazy like how everything just went from me going to the camps to me working them. Mm-hmm. But on my visit, I loved my visit. I love the campus. It was such a beautiful campus compared to other campuses that I went on. And I'm not going to lie, just looking at the big trophy case and like how I remember Coach Sayers vividly, he was like, if you want to win, come to Grand Valley. And that's exactly what we do. And that's something that I just wanted to be a part of. I love the winning culture and I love the team chemistry and everything like that when I used to come to the camps. So
simple but powerful message from Coach Sayers. You know, it's all about being a salesman, and that's a very clear-cut message for sure. Now, growing up, we were talking off the airwaves, you come from a basketball family. Talk about your mom, your dad, and your brother also played collegiately, just wrapped up his collegiate career.
Yes, so my dad played at Detroit Mercy, and then he transferred to Western Michigan. My mom played basketball in high school, and then she went to Grand Rapids Community College. And growing up, I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me, and we just always used to be in the gym. I used to compete with him and his teammates growing up. Like, my dad was an AAU coach for my brother, so I used to go to their practices, and I just would always want to win. I was the only girl, so I guess that's where my competitive side comes from, because I'm like, I don't care that they're boys. I want to win, and I want to compete, and I feel like that's where I developed as a player, just working out with my brothers and his teammates and stuff.
Your first impressions of Coach Mike, what were they?
He's about business. Yeah. And I like that. I love tough coaches, and I loved how he's always on his players. I loved how he always sees the good in his players and he wants to challenge them. And that's what I love the most about being here is that, yeah, you're good, but what can you get better at? So I seen that, and I love that about Coach Williams. He always sees the good in you. He pushes you to be great, and I love that.
From an academic standpoint, do you have a major picked out just yet?
Yes, I'm majoring in sociology with a minor in criminal justice and African American studies. I started out in elementary education, and then I switched to sports management, and then now. Okay. So I've been around, but I feel like this is my major. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Now, going back to your high school days, you played your high school ball at Kalamazoo Central. You were an all-state performer. Tell me about your high school days. What was your best moment?
I would say my best moment was scoring 1,000 points at Cass Tech. That was one of my biggest goals when I was in high school. I used to look up to Marasha Wiggins. She plays at Western Michigan now. And I remember watching her reach her 1,000-point goal at Gold Lake one night, and I'm like, I was a sophomore, I think, at the time, and I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to be good enough to accomplish that, and I did, and I just felt like that was just a major milestone, accomplishing that goal. So yeah.
Talking to Taylor Dillard here on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. Growing up, what got you interested in the game of basketball? Probably an easy choice, knowing that your parents played the game.
I would say it wasn't a choice, but it was something I just felt like it was just installed. Like I was just born with the basketball. Let's just put it like that. Yeah. Like I've always loved it. I grew up watching it. My family loves it, and I just come from a basketball family, so I just had the passion from early on. And then, like I said, I always used to see my brother playing, and I'm like, oh, I can be just as good, maybe even better than my brother. And I hope he watches this. I think I've accomplished that.
There you go. There you go. Now, where have you seen things, I guess, develop for you, whether it's offensively, defensively? Do you feel like things are starting to slow down for you? Now this is technically year number 2 for you?
Yes, like what Coach Williams said, in high school, I feel like it was a major switch from high school to college. You know, it wasn't really that many girls just coming up the floor and pulling up. So I definitely think defense was really hard for me last year. I've been developing when it comes to that, and I think this year I put a big focal point on okay, whoever I'm guarding I'm getting a stop. So I feel like the emphasis on defense is what really what I've been focusing on and stuff.
Yeah, Coach Mike always preaches defense. You're not going to see the floor if you don't play defense, that kind of thing. Now, before I let you go, Taylor, appreciate your time here tonight on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. Off the basketball floor, who do you room with, and what do you like to do for fun?
Yes, I room with freshman Ava Maller, and I also room with Sydney. She's on the volleyball team.
Okay.
We stay at Laker Village. And then I had another roommate, Alice. She's at Wayne State now. Love her.
Okay.
And what I love to do for fun, I really love just hanging out with friends and cooking, really. Nothing too much.
Just keep it simple.
Keeping it real simple, you know.
Do you have a basketball player that you admire, like try and emulate your game after, that kind of thing?
I would say I love Juju Watkins.
Okay.
I know she's not playing right now, but man, I love her game. I love how aggressive she is. And some people say I look like her.
I can see it. I can see the resemblance a little bit.
Yeah, but I admire her, and I also admire Paige Beckers, but I guess that's like a cliche answer, but Paige Becker, Juju Watkins for sure.
Paige Becker, she's got out of the gym range.
Man.
And I tell you what, that's definitely a good player to admire and kind of,
Yes, I love her.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Taylor, it's been a pleasure chatting with you tonight. Best of luck the rest of the way. And, hey, let's chase some more rings here.
Yeah.
You can never have enough, right?
Never have enough.
Absolutely. That's Taylor Diller joining us here on the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider. We'll take one more break. Coach Mike will rejoin us. We'll preview what's to come in the GLIAC postseason tournament. Again, the GVSU women will host as far as they go this week. We'll talk about what's to come after this on the Grand Valley Sports Network. GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider is presented in part by GVSU Tickets, where you secure your seat to all the upcoming games. Back one final time inside the GVSU basketball offices. Brian Fongers with you, rejoined by head women's coach Mike Williams. My thanks to Taylor Dillard for joining us in the previous segment. That was a fun interview. And Coach Mike, let's get right into it. It's postseason time of the GLIAC postseason tournament. You guys are the number one seed once again hosting, and you will host as far as you can possibly go. You can go all the way to Sunday, but you are hosting Lake Superior State on Wednesday. It's a 5:30 tip. We'll have that game for you. We have a home doubleheader on Wednesday. Women first, men second. 5:15 with the pregame coverage on Wednesday here on the Grand Valley Sports Network. The semifinals will be on Saturday. If you guys win, you will host the entire weekend. The GLIAC Championship will be on Sunday. Times and teams obviously to be determined. And then, Coach Mike, we go through the rest of the GLIAC bracket here. The 4-5 matchup is Northern Michigan hosting number 5 Michigan Tech at 5:30. The 3-6 is number 3 Ferris State entertaining Wisconsin Parkside at 6 o'clock in Big Rapids. And then last but not least, the 2-7 matchup is Wayne State is the 2 seed hosting number 7 Roosevelt over in the Motor City at 5:30. And Coach Mike, we recently saw Lake State a couple weekends ago on their senior day, took care of business against Lake State, but I always respect a player like a Grace Bradford. She averages pretty much a double-double on the season. She plays hard. I know that's a program that's trying to get its traction again. So obviously, they have nothing to lose, everything to gain in this kind of game. Is this a game more on the mental side for your team, not losing focus kind of thing?
Well, it's always that first round game. The GLIAC tournament's always been tough. You look back at the 1-8. I think the last 3 years are all close games. Last year was Michigan Tech. The year before that was Purdue Northwest.
Yeah.
Before that was Purdue Northwest again. And they were always battles. And we went up to Lake State and played about as well. Again, we played really well up there, very well on both ends of the ball. But they've got a good team, and they have been a lot closer in games this year. Obviously, making the GLIAC tournament, they hadn't done that for a while.
Yeah.
It's an impressive accomplishment, and they're playing, like I said, we played really well up there.
Yep.
But I tell you, that's not the team we won't see on Wednesday. So we need to be prepared.
I asked DJ Mosini, the assistant coach for the men's team, in the first half hour. I'll ask you this. When it comes to the one-and-done scenario from a coaching standpoint, do you coach it differently in terms of if things go south, do you make adjustments quicker than normal compared to the regular season?
You know what? I don't think so. I think it's just we're having to win every game at this level because you want to make the NCAA tournament, you want to make and host the GLIAC tournament, you want to maybe host the region tournament. So it's almost like our whole season's a one and done. It really is. And I know that's, you say that and you can always lose games, but to make that NCAA tournament at our level is very, very hard. And so I think we're kind of under that all the time.
Yeah, you look at the Midwest Regional rankings. You guys came in the first official rankings. You're the number one seed. If the postseason, the NCAA tournament that is started today, you guys would be number one. But half of the 8 teams, top 8 in each region, make the NCAA tournament are from the GLIAC. That's just a testament to, again, how strong this conference is, and again, how impressive this season has been for you guys.
And they'd be the top if it was national, not regional.
Yeah.
You wish Division II would switch. We got a regional tournament because really your best teams aren't playing the Elite 8 because you're always beating each other up in the regionals. So it's really not a national tournament. And so if you're in this region and you happen to get, make some waves and do well, whoever comes out of this region, they're gonna do well in the national tournament. And so it's that strong. And again, when you're playing teams for the fourth time, sometimes it makes it really hard on both teams. But it's an incredible region.
Coach Mike, before I let you go, again, appreciate your time as you get set for Wednesday against Lake Superior State at 5:30. What are you looking to see out of your team? This is kind of, regardless of how far you go, just preparation for the NCAA tournament. What are you looking to see from your team here in terms of maybe improvements?
Well, we've talked about 3 things that we're trying to work on outside of maybe some of the X and O stuff that we need to get better at. Obviously, taking care of penetration, getting on the glass, doing a great job rebounding, and coming down and just making good decisions with the ball, maybe movement without the ball, or the X's and O's. Then we talked about just can we play with a high level of urgency? Can we stay focused and understand what we need to do and what needs to go on? And can we have that confidence to be willing to make plays on both ends of the ball. And so if we can carry that out, and I thought we made some strides in all those areas in the last 3-4 games. So if we can continue doing that, I think that we'll have a chance.
Coach Mike, as always, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday.
All right, Brian. Thank you.
That's head women's coach Mike Williams joining us again. The women at 5:30 against Lake Superior State. The men at 7:30 against Wayne State. A quarterfinal doubleheader from the Fieldhouse Arena in Allendale. All the fun begins at 5:15 with the pregame coverage. That's going to wrap things up for everybody involved. I'm Brian Fongers saying thanks for tuning in. You've been tuning in live to the GVSU Basketball Weekly Insider on the Grand Valley Sports Network. Anchor up, go Lakers, and we'll talk to you again on Wednesday night to kick off the GLIAC postseason tournament.
Thank